Assalamu alaikum, good evening, adab, namaste. This is the Varediawala show by Imtiaz Patel, Varediawala in and at our Bolton studio UK. And today the show name is Political Window. We are going to talk about local politics. We will have time to touch upon the regional politics, and maybe if we have a time, we'll touch upon the national politics as well. We are very fortunate, and it is our honor and pleasure to welcome three senior, very active political personalities from respective parties. I'll ask them to introduce themselves in a minute. But to start the program, we just have a brief explanation that we invited, of course, to have a balance of views and balance of debate and discussion. We invited all the respective parties, which includes Labour Party, Conservative parties, Reform Party, Green Party, etc. However, we must admit that we just started arranging for this program for this evening. So it was such a short notice. So nice of these three senior political personalities to accept our invitation at such a short notice. However, we did contact the Labour Party, but unfortunately due to short notice they were not available, and I'm sure that they will have another opportunity to put forward their views on the subject what we are going to discuss it tonight. So hope that you are going to enjoy our political show. This is B-Buzz Media. As you know that we are local to global. We just recently been to India. We had a very successful launch, and this show I'm sure that will increase the interest and enthusiasm amongst all sections of the community from local to global when it comes to British politics. I will request all of our panelists to please introduce themselves, and we'll start from yourself, gentlemen.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum, good evening. Thank you for your invitation. My name is Mudassir Deen. I'm chair of the local Conservative Party, Bolton North East Association, former councillor and former cabinet member.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Thank you to Buzz Media for the invitation. I'm Sue Howarth. I'm a councillor. I've been a councillor 12 years, and I made the big decision to change my political party in the summer of 2025. I'm a councillor for the Reform UK Party. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gentlemen.
Hi, my name's Hanif Ali. I'm the only Green Party councillor in Bolton, and I used to be a Labour councillor many, many years ago. However, I feel the Green Party suits my values more.
Thank you. Now, honourable ladies and gentlemen, the next question is, please provide a brief overview of your party policies priorities at both the local level and a national level. And again, we'll start from our former councillor and cabinet member, Mudassir Deen sir.
Thank you. Well, the Conservative journey nationally has been quite interesting since the last general election. A very difficult general election for us. The worst general election in our history as a party. However, we are coming back. We are the party has elected a fantastic leader, and we are looking at traditional Conservative policies that are historically related to us, like having a stronger economy, where the present government has really let down the businesses, let down jobs, job creation, and so those are the types of things that we're looking at. I think the economy is so important, and other issues like communities living and working together, and better paid jobs. So that's what we're looking at nationally. Locally, we mirror that. We work very closely with businesses who are terribly disappointed, not only with the National Labour Party, but the local Labour Party as well. So, and I think they're beginning to realise, the people that lent their vote to Labour for the first time, that it was a big mistake that they made.
Thank you. Would you like me to repeat the question, or is it okay?
I'm okay with it. Thank you very much. So, first I want to kick off and talk about the local, which for me is local government. That's what I concentrate on. I'm not looking to go to Parliament. Reform UK now have 10 councils in England, and we also have 2 what you call metro mayors, so the equivalent of Andy Burnham in other parts of the country. And one of the standouts is that we make a commitment to look on behalf of residents who really want to ensure that there is very good value for money as much as possible in local government, in councils. It's the same language, councils and local government. And you only have to read copies of the Bolton News comments to know that there are people who want to raise issues on a regular basis about, are the council being value for money? So in these weeks at the moment, we're dealing with finance because this is when we set the budgets. And I just want to reassure and explain. I'll give you about 3 examples quickly tonight. It's being said that there's no benefit to Reform UK because they're hiking the council tax. That's not the case at all. The average council tax going on is 4.99 throughout the country, percent increase, 5%. Let's call it 5%. And yet I can tell you now that we've got Lincolnshire that's coming in at 2.9% as its increase offer for council tax, and we've got Warwickshire that's coming in at 3.89%. So as you can see, doing better. We've also just today, I think, had this promised commitment to the people of Kent, which is closely watched. All I've got so far is their offer now is 20% under the 5%. So that's very good. I'm wanting to say that Reform UK is about change. It's about listening to voters. And if you want me to carry on, I can just give you the 3 things nationally, I would say. But of course, I'm not seeking to go to Parliament. One, of course, is immigration. I think the focus particularly is there are changes that people want to see. And Reform UK have an absolute commitment to delivery, which links to the 3rd thing I'm going to say to you. So lots of people feel that they certainly want. People have, been passing away in the sea, goodness me, on what is described as illegal immigration issues and so on and so forth. So there's a big commitment on immigration. There's also a big commitment on crime and disorder, where people, particularly in cities, in our city region and so on, are simply not satisfied on crime. We've got some victims who suffer terribly badly, people who worry about their children all the time. That's the number 2 big commitment. The commitment is delivery. So the number 3 issue is we're in this because we believe that government and getting things done can be done in a different way. Real focus on really achieving, not just another party. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Hanif. Local priorities policies and national priorities and policies from Green Party point of view.
I'm going to follow the suit. National priorities, well, really, we want fairer wealth distribution. It's over the years, you can see since Thatcher came in and later on, the wealth distribution in this country is just going all to the elites. So that's one of our priorities, to make Britain fairer again. And we are one of the largest economies in the world. We're in the G7, for Christ's sake. And we still have people, homeless and beggars on the street. We just can't have this kind of them and us anymore. So that's one of our priorities. We want to reverse the privatisation of the NHS. We want to nationalise the utilities again. We want to nationalise the water companies. Why should all these big corporates make all this wealth off us and not deliver good services? And look at the heating and lighting bills. People are just surviving. Even working people, back in the day, if you could work in a mill, I've worked in, Littlewood Mill, and, you could still survive. You could pay your mortgage, buy a car. Can't do that anymore. So the cost of living has just outstripped what you can earn. So that's another thing. We want to create 150,000 new council homes, all these waiting lists wherever you go, and then you're getting people blaming another type of people because, the government's not run the country properly. It's not because of a few people coming over on boats. It's the real crux of the problem is the economy is just not been working properly. People are fed up. They're working all hours. We want to protect our environment and the local green spaces. We don't want green spaces being built on. We want to use brownfield sites to build on. We want to give people hope again and stop divisions within our community. There's been a lot of rhetoric, especially in the last 5 years in the government, anti-Muslim, anti-immigration. We just want people here to be respected regardless of what colour, creed or where you come from. We want a united Britain, and we want to capacity build all our local communities. That's reopen all these youth centres that have shut down, all these community centres that have shut down, and just look at the state of our town centres up and down the country. You can just see that's the national thing. But locally, I've been a councillor now, first Green councillor for 2 years nearly, and we've worked well with the executive member for environment, and we've got local green spaces officer in Bolton. We've not had an allotments officer for over a decade, so I've campaigned for that to happen. We're now getting an allotment officer. We've had investments in our parks. Blackburn Road, which is in Holywell where we live, it's just been all resurfaced. I don't remember ever that being resurfaced like it's just been. And, we're trying to develop community gardens and spaces where communities can come together, because all the spaces where communities used to get together, like post offices, they've all been shut down. So what we want is to create these hubs, these community hubs where people from the local communities can get together again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that responses. Former Councillor Mudassar Saab, and for all of you, the question will remain the same in a slightly different format. That from the political point of view, Conservative Party now out of power. And it's a perception that the party itself slightly helpless as well. So what is the future of Conservative Party as far as British politics is concerned?
Well, the future of the Conservative Party is our current leader. I think she realises that we've made some mistakes. She's admitted to those. She's put her hands up and said, look, we made some mistakes and we're sorry for those mistakes. And I think it's time, and the process has started of rebuilding the Conservative Party and re-engaging with the general public out there, with local residents at a local level, at a grassroots level. So I think, it's the future's bright, and as I said, it's the worst election result generally that we've had as a party for many years, and it's time to build on that. So it's time for us to listen to people. We've been listening to people for the last year and a half, and that's something that we need to continue doing. And I know Hanif said that sort of the bolts aren't a major sort of issue, but illegal immigration is a major issue, and it's something that we all need to admit to. There are many benefits of legal immigration, but illegal immigration is costing our country far too much. The Labour Prime Minister, when he came in, said that they would break the gangs that were bringing these people across, and they've not managed to do that. So it is an issue, and it is something that this party will look at addressing in the future.
Very quickly, before I go to Councillor Susan Howard, when you say that your party future seems bright, are you talking about getting the party's momentum within, at the same time gaining the reconfidence of British public that you guys are capable to run the go?
Absolutely both. We are quite a united party now that we've lost a few unsavoury members of parliament. We are quite a united party, and in the future that's something that we need to concentrate on, and only then will the public give us the opportunity of running a future government.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Susan Howard, Reform Party. Would you realistically see your party will come to power in the near future and will able to gain the confidence of British people that yes, yeah, this party can run the government, run the British politics the way they want to?
Well, I myself, I'm careful about opinion polls, and the polls do say that they think that Reform UK will do well at the next local election, which is for councillors throughout England. I know some of those elections have been cancelled, and we're very against that. We're going to court over the fact that in some parts of England, millions actually of people are having their vote at the local elections for councils removed in 2026. Right. So yes, in terms of the polls, and the same whenever a general election is called. At the moment, it's looking very positive. That this is the key thing for me. That there are a lot of people out there who are supporting Reform UK. They're saying they're going to give Reform UK their vote. They want to see change, and they want to see some of the things that they do have concerns about tackled by people that they feel would actually stay the course, would really focus and get things achieved. Almost like looking back to in the past when you've had governments that have really organised themselves and written out everything they want to do before they've formed a government. And I'm thinking, for example, of the Blair government definitely did that. Everything was prepared and ready. And so was, going right back, the Thatcher government, to pick another party. I'm not young anymore, so I can remember that. And Reform UK are like that. And you hear about this on the media, that Nigel Farage is engaging people, that he's wanting to put together a government of all the talents and so on. And that's how they want to govern and do really well in government nationally. I think what I would say about locally is that we do have a cost of living crisis. There are things going on where people are worried about their bills all the time. They're having to find money for bills, whether it's their water bill, their energy bills and so on. Mortgages went up terribly badly, I'm afraid, because of the Liz Truss budget some time ago. And there's lots of stress and pressure on people. The change in the cost of food just in a year is really quite shocking. And what I would say locally, and this is, it connects very strongly to what Reform UK are about, is that that's why we do focus on council tax, because as one of the things we focus on, and about getting every benefit for every pound spent at the council, because I don't back upping our council tax even by 5% this year, because I don't understand why we would want to just keep taking money from people who are, say, living in a Band-Aid property, when actually there might be some benefit in letting them keep a bit more of their money. Think about people who are, in their 40s, 50s, who are heading for the later years. They've got a bit more money then, have they not? And they can think about getting their health better, thinking about the later years. And the more people can do some of that for themselves as well, then surely, and be less stressed because they may be able to deal with their own bills better, their own life circumstances, then that is a key thing about what we end up spending, whether it's local government or national government, in this massive growth area of people who are retired. They're retired, they're older. It's actually about economics, which is why, as well, we want to be careful about immigration. We've already got a lot of people from other countries who are living here, who get support and so on. But we've got a 19 billion welfare bill already. And this all comes from your taxes, whoever you are, whatever taxes you're paying. So I think the economics of all of this are really very difficult. And so I come at things from a different way than Hanif Ali, in terms of giving people an opportunity to look after themselves and have the best financial position for themselves as we can give them, whilst also having a welfare system that's fair and so on and so forth. But the affordability now is very problematic for this country, whether it's national government or local government.
Thank you, Councillor Susan. And Councillor Hanif, Green Party, your party doesn't have numbers to come in power, and politics, as far as I know, I have a little bit wisdom and knowledge to understand the dynamics of local, regional, national, international politics. Politics is all about numbers, and your party doesn't seem to have numbers to come in power in the very near future. So what is the future of your party, locally and nationally? to implement all these good policies you guys are talking about?
First of all, let me make it clear that I'm not here representing your party, in case viewers get confused. So your party numbers, well, I think we all know where your party's gone. Although I agree with many of the policies. Something I didn't think I would be doing on here is actually agreeing with Councillor Howarth on the cost of living.
That's interesting.
Absolutely agree with you. The other part is people want change. You're absolutely right. And people in Britain are looking for change. They don't want the same Tory Labour governments anymore. And they are looking at either going to Reform or going to Green, or even your party. So the taste and the will for change amongst British people, whatever area they come from, is definitely there. And I think the Green Party is stepping up to actually gaining the confidence of people in that they are the party who will give them that change. And there's a big divide between the two choices that people have. Because I don't think people want to vote Labour and Conservative anymore. They're sick of the old establishment politics. All this has come out with about Peter Mandelson. People just don't have, the will for that anymore. So many billions and trillions have gone astray from the public purse, and public money is important, as Councillor Howarth says. It's our money, and when our money has been given out in trillions and billions in contracts to Palantir or in contracts to Michael Gove's relatives for PPE equipment for the COVID vaccine, all this, I think the younger generation especially, they're just not buying this anymore. The blind loyalty voting of people of my dad's age who blindly voted Labour, because that old Labour was a very different Labour. They were actually for the people, the working class. They supported unions. They made people politically aware. And then you've had centrist politics under Blair and Cameron. And the centrist politics have basically come together and become an establishment, and they've just shared the pot, if you like, and very badly, because they've not shared it with the people. So we're all about getting Britain's wealth back in the hands of the people. We're here to reduce the cost of living. Look at the food prices. You're absolutely right. They're going through the roof. And the two same main parties keep using the same excuses. Your electric and lighting bills. People are saying, like you said, people have retired, paid the mortgages, and now they're actually saying, oh my God, and if it's like having another mortgage, because the bills have replaced the mortgage. And young people, how are young people, you're talking about the future. Well, we want to give young people hope that in the future Britain will get better. Otherwise, young people either give up or go away. So you've got a massive cohort of young people leaving Britain because they don't see a future here. They can't afford to buy houses. They can't afford to pay the rent. They can't afford to start a family. So, just give you an example, locally, Bolton Green Party, we've got a treasurer who's 25. We've got a secretary. She's 25. Our candidate who's standing, Baggy Patel, in this next election, is 25. We're investing in young people. We're giving the young people that hope that here you can take control. Before, we've heard it so many times, I'm sure Councillor Howarth will agree, where people have just said, it don't matter which way I vote. Why should I vote? So many young people have said, why should we vote? Whether we vote Tory or Labour, we're just going to get the same thing. It doesn't change. It's almost like it's like a monopoly. So we need to break away from that monopoly and give a new, fresh type of politics.
Thank you, Councillor. We have 5 to 6 minutes, 2 more questions, straightforward. If you can, honourable lady and gentlemen, respond to them within the time frame of 1.5 minutes. The next question is, let's talk about by-election in Manchester, Gorton and Denton. It's a talk of the town, talk of the nation, and even in India, people are talking about this particular election. I don't know why, but so I just want to ask a general question, our former councillor on behalf of Conservative Party. Why should people vote for Conservative Party, and why your party is better and different than other candidates in Gorton and Denton?
Okay, I think it's a very important election, actually. I think that's why so many people have their eyes set on that. This election, after what's happened within the government this week and the last 2 weeks, I think could be the election that finishes off Keir Starmer. As Kemi said, it's not a matter of sort of what, it's a matter of when, because I'm pretty sure that by the end of this month.
Yeah, but your opinion remains impending, as we haven't got Labour Party to answer that, but your opinion remains
that's not
pending.
my fault. That's their fault for not turning up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, as a host, that it's a pending opinion.
Their fault for not turning up. You've asked 10, 11 councillors from the Labour Party, not one's turned up.
Yeah,
well,
shameful, really.
Yeah, they're running a minor.
No, but as a host, let's not get into that debate.
No, it's okay.
I mean, it was short notice. We appreciate that, you guys have come.
Yeah.
They couldn't make themselves available. But it's whose fault, who's not fault. Let's not get into that debate. But your opinion about Labour Party remains pending. Carry on, please.
So, our candidate, we've got an excellent candidate in Charlotte Cadden. She's a former senior police officer of 30 years, Greater Manchester Police. She knows the area very well. She's knocking on lots of doors, getting a pretty good response. We're sort of getting an excellent response from businesses, especially within the area, who feel really let down by the government. And there's quite a large ethnic minority population within, especially on the Gorton side. And I think one thing that is guaranteed over the next few elections, local or future general election, that the ethnic minority community are not going to vote for reform. So, the other options they have are the other parties. Historically, we've not performed very well in Gorton. It's a new constituency that's added Denton. We got 8% of the vote last time. She's working really hard. We've got getting a good response at the door, and the only way is up in our vote. So I'm sure we'll get a pretty decent and respectful vote.
Councillor Susan Howe.
Okay, we have a candidate called Matt Goodwin for Gorton and Denton, who has always had family in Salford, Manchester, and went to university in Salford. And he would say that he wants you to vote for him because he wants it to be a message to Keir Starmer that people don't support Keir Starmer, don't support Keir Starmer's government for this country any longer. It is a parliamentary by-election. I would push back at Madassa when he says people from ethnic minority communities are not going to vote for reform. Actually, we have a head of policy called Zia Youssef, who is a British Muslim, Sri Lankan ethnic origin. He is a very senior member of Reform UK, and I must add, I actually rate him extremely highly, and he is someone from day one that I have always followed. I find him extremely talented and highly intelligent person. We also, of course, have Nadine Zahawi, who he is an Iraqi refugee originally. I think he's a millionaire. He was one of those people in this country who pulled himself up from his bootstraps, ran a business. He's someone who I guess is a role model to many starting out wanting to run businesses for themselves. And he is a key member of Reform UK. Look, we know we've got support. I know we've got support in Bolton from various, if I can call it, ethnic communities, neighbourhoods. I know we've got support here because it's not all as negative as as some people might experience what I've said, because the central thing is the economics. If we carry on with such an extraordinarily high level of immigration, I'm afraid, if we do, where is the finance to pay for everything? Because we've done the analysis and we know that a lot of people who have been coming here have not really been people who've got trade or education necessarily, okay? a lot of people are coming here who are not very skilled, who are past the education ages, and who end up needing some welfare from us. So I put the question back to the population of the country. If you want certain things, you're going to have to explain how that would be paid for, because the only answer is people's taxes. And the answers for Denton and Gorton, there are some similarities to Bolton. The key standout issues is we have to do our absolute best on skills. We have to, as children go through school, we support them as much as they can. That's the families, the communities, to do as well as they can. The more people who get skills, good skills, whether they go to a university or just get an apprenticeship, the more likely they are to be able to get a job that pays them enough to be comfortable. Maybe get a job in the Manchester economy, you know, at level 3, level 4, all these jobs. We've got to get that right. And then that gives them more of an opportunity to get into housing and so on and so forth. And we must have far less unemployment. That for me is the central issue. We must help people get a good life for themselves, to be able to take advantage of everything we offer for them.
Thank you. Green Party. Why should people vote for your party, and why your party is better than others? As far as Gorton and Denton, it's a Green Party, generally speaking. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do know Gorton quite well because I do some community development work there, and I know Hannah Spencer extremely well. She is from that community. She's a local plumber. She's also a councillor, and she's salt of the earth. She's a people person, you know, and I know the communities of Gorton and Denton, and Gorton especially is a vibrant multicultural area. You've got people of Arab descent, English descent, black, you know, all South Asian, you've got them all. And you go to any community centre, especially the one on Hyde Road, you go there and you'll see a mixed community. And what you're going to get, Reform is pushing all this anti-immigration rhetoric, a lot of Islamophobia in the GB News podcasts and so forth, and they're pushing division rather than a united community. So, and I think also the big letdown from Labour, that people do know Andy Burnham. They do trust Andy Burnham in Manchester. I'm not going to deny it. However, Andy Burnham wasn't allowed to stand. So I think there's a big kickback. I mean, if I was a Labour supporter, I'd be kicking back and saying, well, you didn't let Andy Burnham stand and you're foisting somebody else on us now. And where's the people's... I believe in democracy, and I don't believe that Labour have been very democratic. And also, there's a younger generation that isn't buying that same crap anymore. You know, Labour is not a friend of the working class. If we look at how living standards have, I mean, pensioners, they targeted pensioners, the two-child cap. Look at, who would have expected Labour to come in and target children in poverty and pensioners? You'd have never expected that. That just shows the new Labour Party under Starmer is just off the scale. It's just somewhere else. Nobody recognises the Labour Party anymore, and their candidate might be somebody who's local, but Hannah Spencer is giving people that new hope, what Councillor Howarth just talked about. People want change, and they've got two choices, and Reform is one of the choices, and I don't agree with Reform's rhetoric. I don't believe that they're the right party, but it's the alternative, and the Green Party is the other alternative. And the Green Party, as far as I'm concerned, isn't owned by the corporates, hasn't got big millionaire donors, such as some other parties have, and we're independent. We're a party of the people.
Okay.
I'm going to...
Sorry.
I need
Less than 30 seconds.
I need to push back.
Yeah,
and on behalf of my colleagues, we have members who are Muslims, We have members who are from ethnic minorities. We've got councillor candidates. I've told you about Zia Youssef. I push back strongly on the description that's been given about Reform UK, and people will lose their memberships if they're shown to, if there's evidence about racism and Islamophobia.
Right.
They'll lose memberships in Bolton and in the country. Thank you, Imtiaz.
Very quickly,
If I don't know in the comments of the Green Party candidate today, she was glad to have left the area.
okay. I think that provides us maybe the second segment of our conversation, maybe next week. Very, very quickly, less than 30 seconds. What is your message for our Bieber's viewer and to the British people? Very quickly, less than 30 seconds, starting from...
I would say enjoy the channel, as many of us are. You've done some magnificent things over the last few weeks and months, especially the trip to India that you highlighted. So lots of areas that I haven't seen before, so keep up the good work.
Thank you. Any political message or any comments in less than 30 seconds? Councillors?
Again, congratulations to Buzz Media on all your achievements. Please, people, keep supporting it. Always use your vote. Please, it was fought for hard, especially for women. Please use your vote.
Councillor Hanif Ali.
Yeah, again, I think this is a great opportunity locally for people to come together from, I know you've had people from the local community, voluntary groups, you've got politicians, unfortunately not Labour, but you've got politicians from all parties coming here. And I think this is going to be a great vehicle, not just for Bolton, but across the country. And you're also going out of the country as well. So, you know, all the best to you. And this is needed. You know, people need to link up with politicians and community leaders. And politicians and community leaders need to hear the voices of ordinary folk on the street. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed talking to these three very senior, very mature, and up to some extent wise political figures that we have had the debate very nicely within the code of conduct of Bieber's Media. And thank you for watching as well. I need to thank our guests. Two thanks. Number one is they accepted our invitation at such a short notice, which just started from yesterday. So thank you for that. And they were all on time. We also started our recording on time. And also for really abide by our code of conduct, which is, you know, any debate, anything within the democratic framework, we have to be matured enough, we have to be wise enough, and we have to accommodate each other. We have to talk to each other. We need to have a dialogue rather than argument, and that's exactly what has happened here in Bieber Studio. So thank you so much for that. I'm sure that this is not going to be first and last time honorable lady and gentlemen will be visiting our studio. Elections is around the corner. If not Manchester, Blackburn, Bolton, Chorley and Preston, we'll be inviting more people. Again, a matter of clarification that we did invite the Labour Party, but because of the short notice they were not available for that, and all the opinion expressed by the panelists as far as Labour Party is concerned, as a host I would say it's a pending opinion, and I'm sure that that party will have an opportunity to respond in the future. Thank you for watching. This is the Varediawala Show, political window which goes from local to global. Thank you for watching. Keep watching Biebers, keep supporting Biebers, and I hope that you have enjoyed this segment and wait for the next segment. Thank you. Salam alaikum, namaste, adab, good evening. And on behalf of my producer, CEO and founder Farooq Bhai, who is working very hard behind the scene, and of course our studio manager, whom I call magician editor, Sadab Bhai, and other Biebers team, thank you. Look after yourself and people around you.